My experience of racism is things like walking into a shop and having the security guard follow you everywhere simply because you're black. And they are being stereotypical, thinking that all black people steal things, so they must watch you. I find that very degrading and it needs to stop. Sometimes I will walk into a shop and leave slowly so that it doesn't look like I've stolen something, even though it's in my right to go into a shop and decide not to buy anything. It's stuff like that. Particularly hair shops, which is what I dislike the most because black people support their business the most and most of the owners are degrading. They follow you everywhere. They literally have their eyes glued on you and there's no shame about it. They do it so openly and everyone sees it. I can't stand it, which is why I try to avoid going there. It's things like travelling more than 50 miles for a job interview, arriving there, and you can just tell immediately they don't like you simply because you're black. I remember once going to an interview and I prepared so much for it. I answered one question. After one question, it seemed like they didn't have anything else to ask. They already made their mind up. They already didn't want me, so they didn't put any effort into the interview. I remember that day clearly. It won't go out my mind because of how it made me feel that day. It's things like, well, I work in media, so it's the fear. Well, not fear, it's more anxiety of starting a new job and then realising you're the only black person there in the office, and you just feel a bit out of place. You don't feel like you fit in 100%. And sometimes you need to like tone down your whole personality because some might assume it's too much, or you fear of being prejudged before even showing your skill set. It's stuff like those comments made against you that you feel like is a bit wrong, but you can't say anything because it's not your place to say anything. And I feel like that really does need to change a lot, especially in media. It's also things like being good at your job and not being able to progress, and someone else has progressed before you who may not even be as experienced. It might not be a race issue, it might be a race issue, but I feel like British people need to stop being in denial about these things. They need to stop saying racism doesn't exist. They need to stop saying they don't see colour, because everyone sees it and it's clear. I don't understand where this denial is. I don't know if it's a part of guilt. I don't know if it's to just make themselves feel better, but it's definitely there and we all see it. It's like if someone addresses it, it becomes an issue. It's like people love to say, stop pulling the race card, which is what I hate the most, because I don't think there's a race card to pull when it's there. It's clear, everyone can see it. I feel like it's an excuse to make ethnic minorities feel bad for speaking up, especially when that's how they feel. I feel like everyone has the right, freedom of speech, to say what they feel. And it's nice to see that people are starting to recognise this. More people are starting to stand by it and be against it, which is what I love to see. But what I hate is, I know it's not in the UK, while it is, but someone doesn't need to die for people to notice these things. It should already be noticed. It should already be an issue that needs solving. And that's what I stand by. I feel like this year has really been an eye-opener. I've noticed so much things and how people think. It's just crazy how all of this has been inside everyone for so long, and it feels like this is a time now where everyone is just had enough, and they're just saying it how it is. Even the racists. Just stop racism. It's ignorant, it's stupid, we're all human, and it just divides us as people. We need to unite. Everyone is human. We all have feelings. We all cry. We all eat. We all sleep. We do everything the same. So I don't understand why you're getting judged just because someone's a bit darker than you. It sounds so silly. It's ridiculous. End racism.